Hey, in this tutorial, we're going to go over how to use namespaces. So what are namespaces in BingeWave? So the concept of a namespace really begins at the point of trying to separate code so there aren't collisions when multiple developers are developing different widgets on the platform. So let's say, as an example, one developer in the JavaScript had a function like add X and Y, and it wrote out to an element. Another developer with a different widget rolled out very similar code, but instead of actually writing into an element, it just returned the sum of X and Y. If both of these were what is known as in the global space, you would have a collision, and only one of them, typically the one that's loaded second, would be the one that is read by the function. And this will cause weird behaviors for other widgets that are trying to use the same methods but not getting the desired results back. So therefore, we have something called namespaces. Namespaces is where every widget has its own scope that the JavaScript exists in. So to get started on how to use namespaces, let's go back to this example here. Let's start by making a variable and two functions. So this code is very, very simple. We just have a string. It says, how are you today? We have a function that takes in a parameter, and then it passes that parameter to another function called print message. So fairly simple, right? So let's say we wanted to call this message. Well, first let's boot up our test environment. All right. And let's test out the widget on screen. Good, we got some text working, so we know it's working, right? So let's make this into a button that should call a function, like say the say hi to function. All right, so when I click this, right now it should do nothing, even though I have this defined here as say hi to John, which is the same function as this. It's not going to work because these are what's known as private. So I click this, nothing happens, right? So what we have now these are all private functions and variables. In order to access it, I have to access it through the namespace, which is defined right here. So the namespace you'll see is this, and it's also given to you again right here. So in order for me to call this function, I actually have to copy this out, paste it here, and then this, what it does, this is calling the namespace, and now it's calling to this function. Now this is still not going to work. I'm going to update it and show you. This will still not work because this function right here is still private. So when your function is first defined inside our JavaScript editor on BingeWave, everything is private. To make it public, you have to assign it to this, give it a variable name, and then assign it to this function up here. So now when I update the widget and I click the button, it works. Same for this. If I wanted to make the variable public as well, I would do this dot message equals message. And then this would also be available now in the public space. So that is in BingeWave how you work with namespacing JavaScript, making things both public and private and accessing the data inside your JavaScript. Thank you.